So I guess the first thing I'll start with is the first half of the chapter. The directions were kind of all the same, where the directions just said simplify. And I kind of highlighted it above the directions there. It might be a good idea for you guys to write down those 4 things. So like on tomorrow's test, if you're asked to simplify, this is basically what simplify means, okay? It just means to do whatever you can. But in more specific terms, your final answer shouldn't have a negative power. Your final answer shouldn't have a 0 power. Your final answer shouldn't have a parentheses, which that's kind of iffy. I mean, like, on a simplified question, you want to get rid of parentheses. But normally, you know, a whole purpose of a parentheses is to group things together. So the parentheses one for your test tomorrow would be to get rid of parentheses when you're asked to simplify. And then the last thing is just combine whatever you can. So like if you have 2 different x's that can go together, you would combine them. And those are kind of just generic rules. So, I'll just go down the list. AJ, do you think you could help me with number 1? How would we simplify number 1? Yep. Possibly. I guess, what would I write as the answer? Very close. So the negative 3 power is only on the x, so the only thing we would move is the x. Yep. So the 5 would stay where it was. And that's kind of all it's asking you to do for question 1 anyway. Okay, nice job. Ben, how about number 2? Is it easier if you guys kind of know what order you're going to be called upon? I know. Perfect. Perfect. Do you remember how to combine them? Do you remember how to combine them? I mean, yeah, that's it. So when they're being multiplied like that, you're going to add their powers. So 4 plus 3 plus negative 2 would give you 5. If I'm adding right. Okay, good. Honestly, the first 4 are kind of all very different, so maybe we should just do the first 4. Murph, you got a question? Oh, or were you just... Desmond, do you want to help me with number 3? Okay. Any thoughts? There's different things we could do first, but what would you do first? Perfect. And we are able to do that because there's no plus or minus signs. So absolutely perfect. So we'll do that everywhere. So now we have 5 squared, which you guys can write as 5 squared or 25. I'll take it either way. What happens to the x to the 5th when I square it? What does it turn into? Do you remember? 10. So you do 5 times 2. Yeah. Yeah, I know. You were looking at the one next to it. Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, when it's a power to a power, you multiply them. So then y6, and then we've got 4 squared, or 16. Again, you guys can write it either way. I'll take it. X squared, y squared, because they both had a 1. Can we do anything from there? I'll just tell you it's 400 if that's what you're trying to do. Yep. Well, that's kind of what I was asking you, but I can help you if you want some help. Yep. Okay. So we can add their powers because they're being multiplied. How about the x's? Can we combine those? Okay. What do we get on that one then? Perfect. Okay, so I wrote both versions of the answer down below that I'd be okay with on the test if you put. I guess this is probably a good time to bring this up. Since a lot of you haven't done the concept checks yet, you probably haven't had a chance to find out how to type powers in. So I'll just write this down below and then I'll erase it. On the test, if you're trying to write a power, there is no power button. So like I know some of you have figured out how to change the font into a superscript, which would look like a power. But you know, you don't need to. If you're trying to write a power on the computer, you write that little caret symbol. So if I write this, I know that means x cubed. So if you guys are writing your answers on the test, and I go through them afterwards. So even if it like automatically marks you wrong, I go through it afterwards to check to see if it should be marked correct. So if you want to write a power on the test, this is basically the normal way to do it. What I wouldn't accept, I'm not going to accept if you guys write it like this, because I don't know if you're trying to say multiply by 3 or what. So make sure you guys somehow signify it's supposed to be a power. Oh, that's not an eraser. Okay, and then we'll do the last one here from the top row because those are all similar. Gracie, how about you? Do you think you could help me with 4? Can we do anything on 4? Okay, how come? Or, I mean, like, if it's easier, why don't you just tell me what to write? Because sometimes explaining it is harder. Okay. Okay, I think you meant it right in your head, but you said it out loud incorrect. Because you had the right final information. So because they're being divided, we want to subtract them. And I think you actually did that, even though you said addition. Because your final answer was the right numbers. So it would be top number minus bottom number. Yeah, but no, very good. And I get it. I mean, trying to answer out loud, it doesn't always work. You know, I'm supposed to be able to know how to explain things out loud because that's my job. You guys, it's more important that you guys be able to do the things in your head. So saying it out loud doesn't always come out right. So you're always going to take top power minus bottom power. And then you write the answer on the top. So x4 minus 6 would be x negative 2. y5 minus negative 3 would be 8. And then Haroon, I can't write this as my final answer because I have a negative power. What would be my final answer? Okay, Oh, I got what you're saying. Okay, so the y8 we're not going to do anything with, but you were correct that we would move the x to the bottom, like the over part that you were trying to talk about. On the bottom, we would write a positive 2. So the negative symbol in a power means to move it, but it turns into a positive 2 on the other part. So this would be the final answer. I kind of think that I'm going to take more time going over these problems with you guys because it's been a while since we did them. And this is where I thought you would forget some of the details. My guess is you guys are a lot better at the multiplying ones because we just were doing them. Isabella, I think I'm going to skip 5 and 6. Maybe we'll go to 7 or 8. Your choice. Okay, so they've got parentheses. Do you remember what we look for when there's parentheses? Okay, yep, that would work. You basically look to see if there's anything to multiply out in the parentheses. A subtraction symbol we would multiply out, yep, definitely. So in this case, there's nothing to multiply, so I can just kind of take off the parentheses. And a lot of you don't have to write this, like you can do it in your head. And I'm sure a lot of you just do it in your head. Okay, what would I do from there? Yep. 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 Okay, very good. Perfect. Yep. Yep, none of these can go together because an x squared is different than an x. Okay, good. Good. Very good. And if anybody has any questions on these problems we've done so far, please feel free to ask out loud. I mean, or type it in the chat or whatever. I mean, like, the whole purpose of this review is for me to kind of bring things back to your memory. Let's do 12. Sure. Where are we at? We're at Logan. Logan, do you think you can help me with 12? Okay, thank you. What would you do first? Okay. Is it easier just to tell me what to write? Okay. Got it. Okay. Okay. Okay, perfect. So what you did was you took this minus sign and you distributed it to all three things. That's perfect. Okay. Do you want to keep going from there? Got it. Negative 3x squared. Yep. Perfect. Nothing. They cancel out. Nice job. Nice job. Really the only thing that could make these different or harder when you're adding and subtracting would be like number 13 where some of them are out of order. But I don't really think that throws you guys off, to be honest. I think you guys have worked with enough of these where you just automatically know that an x squared goes with an x squared no matter where it is. So That's really the only thing that could be harder on those. See, Luke, this one will work perfect for you to type in an answer then. It says a triangle has 3 sides with lengths 8x plus 6, 5x minus 5, and negative 6x plus 12. What is the perimeter of the triangle? Luke, do you remember what to do to find the perimeter? Okay, so the perimeter means the outside of the triangle. So if we had a triangle like this, and the sides were 2, 3, and 5, the perimeter would be 10. How did I find the perimeter of that triangle? What did I do? And if you're still not sure, that's okay. I was just kind of trying to lead you a little bit. Let's see, Ella, you also have a mic that's kind of messed up. Do you think you know what to do with perimeter, like how you find perimeter? Do you think you could type it in? Just to tell me what to do rather. I don't even need details. Should I, yeah, definitely. So this is kind of basically what I was trying to show Luke, is if I had a triangle with a 2, a 3, and a 5 as a side, 10 would be the perimeter. Because the perimeter means how far is it around the outside. How did I get that 10? Like, what did I do with the 2, the 3, and the 5? Yeah, there you go, Luke. So to get 10 as my perimeter, I'm going to add up the sides. So on this question, the sides aren't like numbers. There we go. So the sides aren't like actual regular numbers. So what we're going to have to do to find the perimeter is add up whatever sides you're given. So like right here, we have 8x plus 6 plus 5x minus 5. And I'm putting them in parentheses just to show that they're separate, but the parentheses aren't going to be needed because there's like nothing being multiplied. But our goal is to add them up. So then I would do like we had done the questions right above this. 8x plus 5x, which would be 13, minus 6, which would be 7. And I can color code this if that would help. And then I would add the normal numbers. 6 minus 5 would be 1, plus 12 would be 13. Let's go with green, sure. So this would be the final answer for the perimeter. Like, we don't know what x stands for, but we do know that perimeter means to add the sides. And while we're on this same question, let's see, who's next? Murph? Murph, on number 15, what would we do to find the perimeter of that one? I meant 15. Did I say 13? It's cool. Your math teacher doesn't know numbers. It's all right. Yeah, I meant 15, that picture. There's basically one little trick. Like, they only show us 2 sides. So but the perimeter means that you have to add up all the sides. So what would this top side be? Like, what information would I write for the top side? There you go, because it's the same as the bottom. And then the side. Perfect. That's kind of what I was looking for. So yeah, you'd have to add up all 4, but it only showed you 2 of them. Okay. Yep. Good. And then I'll move to 16 because there's a question on the test that is very similar to 16. I think 16 uses different words. I'm trying to remember it off the top of my head. So if you're looking at 16 on this review sheet, it's talking about cost and sales. I think the one on the test is something like profit and revenue or something like that. But in the problem, it tells you what to do. So that's kind of the similarity. So this one, it says the profit a business makes is found by subtracting the cost from the sales. So that's telling me that profit is my sales minus how much it cost to buy everything. So you basically take the amount of money that you're given minus the amount of money you paid, and that's your profit. On this problem, the sales and costs have an equation. And I see that the formatting got screwed up on this one. That's supposed to be squared on both of those. The sales would be 150x squared plus 450x plus 200 minus 100x squared plus 500x. I'm going to try to fit it really small. Minus 300. And then to find the answer, you would do like we had been doing above, where you distribute out the minus sign and then combine like terms. So it is a word problem, but it's basically supposed to be exactly like what we've been doing. Okay, I wanted to spend most of our time going over questions like that because they were probably oldest, the least fresh in your mind. We'll do a couple of these really quick, I think, because these you probably just remember how to do because it's been from this week. Nora, I'll just give you choice. Any question that's up on the screen right now. $17? Okay, that works. What would you do for 17? Okay, good. Since you're multiplying, you add the powers. Yep. Good. Good. Perfect. Perfect. It's really easy to get confused between like the adding, the subtracting, the multiplying, dividing, when everything's kind of being thrown at you at once. And so that's why I like these review sheets that have all the types of problems. Sadie, do you think you could pick one from 19, 20, or 21? Okay. Do you think you could just, I don't know what would be easiest for you to just tell me. Okay, okay, that works. Yep. Okay. Good. Perfect. Good. And then can I do anything else with the final answer, or should I leave it like this? Okay, good. Very good. Very good. Okay, like I said, I think this is probably fresh in a lot of your minds. I will tell you there's one question on the test that asks you about the step of FOIL. And so that's why on this problem, as Sadie was reading it, I kind of just wrote down the order that she said. And she even said it in the correct order for FOIL. So for FOIL just tells you what order to multiply things out. And so if you need a reminder, firsts, outsides, insides, lasts. It feels like such horrible grammar, you know, reading it off like that. But I know there's a question on the test that might ask you, what would be the outsides of this problem? And so you're not even going to have to say a whole answer. You're just supposed to say one part of FOIL. Okay, good. Maybe let's go to 24. Sophie, do you think you could help me out with 24? It's kind of the only other different kind of question, I guess. Okay, do you remember what this squared means to do? Yeah. Do you remember what this squared means? It means times itself. Yep. Oh, the picture. Sorry. Yep. Oh, why isn't there even, there's not even a number on that one. Yeah, 24. Sorry. I suppose you were really lost when I said, what does this mean? Yeah. Yep. Okay. Where do I go from there? Mm-hmm. Okay, good. And then the middle two on this one can go together. Okay, perfect. You know, I guess I never even thought about that. Can you guys see my mouse cursor on the screen, like sharing it? Because a lot of times I just use the mouse to point to something, and I don't even know if you guys can see it. Nora, is there a thumbs up or thumbs down? Okay. Oh, really? You can't? Oh, interesting. I wonder if each program is a little different on that. Or maybe there's a setting I'm supposed to do on there. Good to know. So I'll be better at like making markings or something to talk about the mouse pointer. So problem XX, you know, I guess is probably 25. Okay. You can move the box. I like people make it smaller as you can see. Move the box. Oh, you mean like Alex, do you mean like the participant list or whatever it's called? I guess I actually have no idea what Zoom comes up like on your Chromebooks. I never even thought about that. Like on my computer, it doesn't run through the browser. It's just like its own program. Who's Sydney? This actually worked out perfect today that we got everybody called on. Sydney, Do you remember how to find the area of a rectangle? What do you do to find the area? Yep. You multiply. That was a bad M. Let me redo that. It doesn't even matter what you call it. You can call it base, height, you can call it length, width, whatever. But you just multiply the two things. So for this problem, the area would be 3x plus 2 times 4x plus 1. And then I'll just multiply this part out because that's Sydney basically did the hard part of this problem, which was knowing what to do with it. So 3x times 4x would be 12x squared. 3x times 1 would be 3x. 2 times 4x would be 8x. 2 times 1 would be 2. So the area, this is just like a formula that represents the area of the window. If we're ever told what x is, like if we're told that x is 2, then we can put a 2 in place of x to know the area. And then the question right below it is the same, just no picture. How about where we're at now? Does anybody want me to go over any question that we didn't do together or answer anything? So we basically took about a half hour to kind of just go over half of the questions. Honestly, you guys have, what, almost 45 minutes? Yeah. I should be used to 75-minute periods by now, but I'm not. So you guys definitely have quite a bit of time. You should be able to finish the review. But don't forget the concept checks are due today. Concept checks are supposed to be done before tomorrow. Tomorrow during class, I'll have you guys take the test. I would like you to join Zoom while you're taking the test. I will be going through the concept checks to look for like mistakes, like look for points you should get back. So like if it automatically graded something wrong and it shouldn't have, I'm going to go through and look for mistakes like that while you guys are taking the test. So that's especially why it's important to have the concept checks done ahead of time. Plus, they're a really good way to review the test. Okay, I guess that's all I've got here for you guys. Take this half hour, 40 minutes to work. Get everything done that you can. You should have no other homework tonight, probably. I'll be at my computer, so if you guys have questions, you could send me a message in Schoology or an email. And if you want me to come back on Zoom, I certainly can. Like maybe you want me to help you with something on Zoom, I can. Otherwise, just get a hold of me. I'll be here at the computer if you guys want help with something. All right. Otherwise, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Yeah, you're welcome.